So, would you like to know what is karma really? Okay, I'll tell you. Here is something that you probably haven't seen before. If you have seen this picture somewhere else, then they probably stole it from us. So let me explain you what it is. This right here is a human body, and it is covered by energy shell or aura. And this body is moving in the environment like the wave is moving in the space. So this movement is what we call the road of life. This moving object leaves the trace behind it. It's just like an inversion trace behind an airplane. This trace is a body of memory that is left behind each person. We use this body of memory to analyze the life of a person. It usually takes us 3 minutes or less. We can analyze the whole life of a person with all the events in his or her life. This right here is what Christian believers call human soul. We call it mental body or body of memory. This body is moving on the surface of a sphere. The sphere and the mental body are the bodies of higher planes. This sphere represents our spirit. And the surface of this sphere or spirit has bumps and holes. The diameter of the mental body at any given point of time represents the reserve of life forces of a person. So we have a special technique that helps us to analyze the mental body. It looks like this, and we call it the lifeline. By analyzing the lifeline of a person, we can see the events and point out the stresses the person experienced. We also use lifeline to see the point of time when energy vampire began his or her influence. Using the lifeline, we can tell the dates of the stressful events in the person's life. So we use special techniques to work with and analyze these bodies of higher planes. It is possible to analyze and measure these bodies of higher planes. We strive to measure everything and be metrologists in what we do. So all of these bumps and holes on the sphere have a defining influence on the events of person's life. Almost every human has their own spirit. Each person uses the vertical orbital of his or her brain activity to read the bumps and holes on the sphere, and this defines events in person's life. Vertical brain orbital is just like a needle on a vinyl recorder. This orbital vibrates on a vinyl record and reads the information of the soundtrack. Then the amplifier transforms these vibrations into sound. So a person uses vertical orbital of brain activity, reads these bumps and holes of the sphere, and human body as an amplifier turns these bumps and holes in the events of this person's life. People call these bumps and holes karma or destiny. We have a way to measure these bumps and holes. Each person has their own recorded mission. Each spirit has its own goal. In today's world, it is vital to take into account the mission of the spirit. It is very important because when a person starts to follow the laws of society and rejects to follow goals or mission of own spirit, and every spirit has its own nature, then this person loses his or her road of success. Failure to use vertical orbital of brain activity to read the mission of own spirit can lead to big problems, and this person feels lost in the environment. Person's brain doesn't know what to do. The true value system of a person is not manifested. This creates distortion in the connection between front brain zones and person's genome, which is the person's gene code of health. When human brain zones are oriented toward someone else's gene, then the health of a person is getting worse. So this leads to loss of success and health. This person fails to follow the mission of own spirit. Do you remember I was telling you about the puppet master who gives you everything on the platter? I was talking about your spirit. Here's another thing that I wanted to point out. It concerns religion and the verse from the Holy Bible. You should honor your father and your mother, written with capital letters, and honor your father and your mother without capital letters. So what is the correct way to write this verse? The one who will give correct answer will get an extra credit. So anyone? So, mother and father with capital letters, or father and mother with non-capital letters? Since 1956, in Bibles it is written with non-capital letters. Before that, capital letters were used in this verse. You should honor your father, your spirit, and your mother, your nature. And that's the way it was written before 1956. And after it was changed, it meant that you should honor your biological father and mother. There you have it. So even these small changes can have a very powerful meaning. This picture over here can help you to realize the purpose of life. Do you want to know the answer to the purpose of life? Anyone interested?